Alrighty, TGIM. Thank goodness it's Monday. Doc back in the saddle again after a fun-filled weekend. Just ready for the markets as usual. This is the week of Jackson Hole, and I'm not sure if Mr. Powell is going to do anything too dramatic, but I think he'll reinforce the idea that he is going to look at statistics, and we all know that he's going to not really be committable more than where they stand right now, and that is that they want to see numbers and inflation and so forth and so on. Just the same song and dance. I think it could make the markets a little bit more volatile. As you can see, we had it was a 275 point drop in the Dow on Friday, and this morning we have basically a 330 drop. Let's just go to that short term, just so you can see. I can see, you can see, we all can see. And that's probably the real dance that's going on at the moment. Markets are kind of, you see there, the Tech 100 is down 196. You see the S&P 500, which is this blank one right there. Now it's down 50 points. And then down at the far end is the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which is down, where's it down? I know that the DAX is down. Let's see, I just saw the DAX go by. Let's see, Dow Jones Industrial Average is down about 335, 340 points. So, there's a little pressure on the equity market. It's nothing major. It's just kind of noisy. That's what it does, I mean, a 300-point move in the Dow is right around 1%. That's about it. Not even. A little less than that. So, that's where we are, and this is going to be the week. It should be, it started off Friday, and we went from a plus week to a minus week on Friday. And I would assume that we'll see that kind of nervousness and shifting and trying to shake the market a little bit, but I don't think we're going to see any real dramatic move in like a 3 or 4%er. I'd be surprised to see something like that. These 1% go back and forth just like the waves on a lake or an ocean or a sea. Okay, let's get over to the currencies, and you can see here Mr. and Mrs. Dollar looking very firm on J4X. It's been pushing up, and up. You can see it's at the high end of its range, for the last month or so. And then when we slide back over to Chicago Quant, let me tune into the website. Now I just remembered that. There we go. You can see right there, dollar index firm. It's been up for the week. It's in a weekly buy. Metho, Robin, morning, Robin, morning, Metho. It's firm. The dollar. Unfortunately for us in the States, the dollar is so strong it forces us to buy things from outside the country more, and when it's weaker, we kind of head towards our own providers, that type of thing. So it goes back and forth. We are kind of towards the high end of the range of the index, as you can see right there. Back in July 14th, we were up in the 13,161 area of this index. This is the CME index, and we've been following that now for a while. You can see that these are like really, really high. You go all the way back to July of last year, and the product was trading in the 12s, 11,900. And gave a pop to the 12,000, came back down, and so we're seeing a very, very strong dollar. And again, most of us are not always that happy about it, because it makes it hard. Ooh, let's see if I can say that right. Varsani? Hello. How are you? We just kicking around here, and just talking about markets. That's what we do. And we look at the individual. We start off with currencies because this is more of a currency webinar, but we also do commodities. We look at the gold and the silver, and then we jump over to the, we look at copper, and sometimes we look at platinum, and then we jump over to the energies, and we look at crude oil, and we look at natural gas, and we look at gas oil for automobiles, and we look at the North Sea Brent. We do that, and then we look at stock indices. And normally we don't usually look at stock indices until towards the end, but sometimes we get pushed into it just because of the way the market's been acting the last couple of days. We know Jackson Hole is here. It's coming around the corner towards the end of the week, and we know that that's going to have an influence. And we just try to keep you abreast of what's going on with the markets in general. And that's kind of what we try to do here. And we love answering questions. If you see something you want to see, if you want to see a particular commodity or oil or currency pair, just say it on the chat line. We'll go look at it. We love stopping our natural rhythm just to take a peek at something new. There's so many products out there. We're always hoping that people will say, hey, let's look at this, or hey, let's look at that. You never know where the next good trade can come from. So, what else can we say about any of this? That's about it. I guess Europe's feeling a little pain this morning. And so let's go back to the currencies. Unless anybody wants to see a particular one, we will run over now to, hey, Doc. Hey, 47, how you doing today? Can you look at the Nikkei? Yeah, let's check out Nikkei. I heard Europe was feeling the pain this morning, but let's see what they did. I didn't even look to see what what Japan did. I heard they lowered the rates again in China. So, Southeast Asia, or Asia in general, is probably moving around in different ways. Let's see, right there. And there is Nikkei Future. You can see plateaued out here. Been in that long buy since the high 26,000, almost 27,000. It's been in the buy on a weekly signal here. You can see you haven't come in and said, hey, let's look, because you can see we haven't filled in a lot of stuff here. Went into the daily buy right there, the last daily buy. Let's go like that. And you can see here it's playing with the daily sell as we speak. Now, yeah, that's last night and tonight. And they're giving me a Sunday price and a Monday price. Either way, we'll just call that the sell is right there. So we're going into the sell today, but we're in a weekly buy, so you don't want to be too bearish there. Let's see. Last sell was here. That didn't last long, more than a couple days with a gap. But you couldn't take the short because, again, traders, for most of you that do know our work, when you're in a weekly buy and you go into a sell, the most you want to do is just, protect your long. Go neutral, get out, whatever. But in the end result is you don't want to go short because you're in a weekly buy. And then you can see, like, when we went into the daily buy right here and being in a weekly buy, you can see the pressure is on the product on the upside, slow and steady and going nowhere, but it went up. Let's put it that way. Then we went into a sell right here, I guess it is. Yeah, there was a sell, or was it there? Let's see, it was right there. So went into the sell right there at the low. And that's why the weekly helps out a lot. And then you can see here that it tries to lift up again, and then we get into a buy after the gap there. I wonder if we can change the parameter a little bit. September. Let's see what the default does. Let's see if it cleans it up any. Yeah, default cleans it up a little bit better. And push that over there like that. You can see here with pushing it into the default reading, you got the volatility signal a day beforehand out of this action. What was that? That was the 11th. There's the 12th, and then the 13th. What is it? There's the 13th, the 14th, 15th. What are they doing? Showing us Sunday nights? I think they're showing us Sunday nights. So in this case here now, there's 19th is Saturday? Was 19 Saturday or was that Friday? I think it was Friday. Okay, so that's good. That's Friday. And then it just misses the sell there. And you see, the green line breaking through the daily gives us warnings that there's lots of pressure on the downside. So if you got long here, you got, a couple days to be able to try to take some money out of it there. How's that? Let's see. Let's go back and look. We haven't looked at this in a while. I guess that's the last time we looked at it for you back here in June. You see, it goes into the weekly sell there off of this week. So somewhere in there is a sell number. Confirm we put it at the end of the week to confirm that the sell occurred. And you see that pressure there. And so that's the action we've seen out of it all. And let's see, what else can we say about that? And you see, goes, you see it here on a daily sell. This in the 5 or 4 weeks that we were in weekly sell. So every time it jumps into a daily buy, you don't want to get long, you just don't want to be short. So you miss getting beat up there, and then you get the opportunity. There's your short, and then it's a winner chicken dinner. So, no problem. 47. I'm a little it's. I haven't traded the Nikkei future in decades. I watch it, ever since they kind of went belly up, back in the late 80s, early 90s. The night trading for Japan has been very thin, But matter of fact, they extended their, the Japan actually opens up, trades for a couple hours, closes for lunch, then reopens again, and for another 2 hours trading, something like that, hour and a half of trading on it or something like that. It's a very interesting market. It kind of has the old European flavor to it still to this day, and they still do that, which is kind of neat, I always found that very attractive. When I was young and we worked, in the 70s and the 80s in the United States, we would trade throughout the whole day. You'd eat on the trading floor. You were hungry, so forth and so on. But Europe, it was very neat. They kind of slowed down for lunch or closed for lunch and then reopened again. And holidays could go on for weeks. I remember like New Year's and Christmas was closed for all of it. It was just a much more comfortable, lazy way of working. I enjoyed it. It was very good. But, and the end result is that, the Nikkei has been kind of thin in many ways. And also, since it's the main trading theme is when, in the nighttime. So that the charts themselves kind of lag a little bit, I think. That's the way I look at it. Yeah, I know. I think it's cute. I do. I find that very positive in many ways. I find it cute. I do. It's I don't know, something about the old-fashioned techniques sometimes are very appealing to me. Maybe because I'm older now, I don't know. But I always found it interesting. I always found it interesting. So in the end result is that when reading the charts of the Nikkei, I always found that the Nikkei, when they were really hot and heavy back in the 80s, I mean, it was great trading. When they first started that futures contract in Chicago, it was like, yeah, this is great, But as time went on, in the mid 90s, when they really topped out at the 39,000 area, and they fell all the way down to, I don't know, 7,000 or something like that. It was, the action just wasn't there, and I kind of lost paying attention to it. But it's always well worth looking at, and I love watching. I'll tell you, I thought that the yen really led us. The dollar-yen pairs trade really led us into this market this year. When it bottomed out and tried to take out the 115 area a few times, and it kind of cruised around and back down to like 112, and it went back to 115 again, and kept on vacillating back and forth, and then after a while, it got a grip, and I remember Rob and I did this article, and it just took off like a rocket ship. So, all right. No problem there. Let's take a look at the euro. We'll get back to the currencies again. But believe me, anybody wants to see something, just throw it out there. We'll go after it. You can see here the euros, man, it's breaking the century mark again. And we went into a weekly sell last week. We've been in the daily sell since like literally the beginning of last week. We've been in the, so for 6 days now we've been in a daily sell, and the pressure's been on. The weekly found a way to slide into it towards the end of the week. Like on Wednesday and Thursday, it started to do it, and you can see the green line piercing the zero, and the pressure was on, and the weekly sell started to get going around in this area here. So I guess they're going to, we kind of thought that they would play with like the 97 area. Maybe that's what they're going to do. We'll see what they do with the yen, but in the end result is we are now on a weekly sell and been in a daily sell now for over a week. And let's put it up on J4X. What I'd like to do is take a look at the on J4X. After we look at the euro against the dollar, we'd like to go back to the yen just for a second to take a look at it on the on there. You can see all that pressure there on the J4X too, and we've been underneath since back there. I wouldn't be surprised if we've been. This is our second week also in the sell. Let's see what it looks like. Right there. Yeah, second week in the sell. There's been a lot of pressure on the euro. The euro has had a hard time getting out of its way. I just wanted to see what the Nikkei looks like on a week-to-week basis on the J4X. Let's see. There is the DAX. There's the dollar index. There's the FTSE. There's the Nifty 50. There's the Japanese. Let's just make that big. Yeah, you can see this product. You can see going back to what was that 2011 was down in the 8,000 area. They've gone from 39,000 in the early 90s to down to 8,000. Incredible drop. Just incredible. Let's see. And yep, let's see, what do we got here now? I think what do we got here? Let's go back to the currencies again. I just wanted to take a look at the yen because just to show people that when I said it had taken a big drop, it really took a big drop from 39,000 to about 7,000, 8,000, something like that. That's incredible. All right, now let's get back to the daily and let's take a look at cable. See what the cable's up to today. We will go to the yen unless someone wants to see it right now. That's part of our rhythm. We do the yen after the South African rand. But we can always jump to it if someone wants to see it. There's no doubt about that. I want to see it. But I'll stay with my rhythm until someone changes me. Which indicator you added there on the J4X? Oh, the one at the bottom, the white line. I forget who asked. It was Jordan or Metho or someone. Was it you, Metho? It's the bid-ask ratio. It has some interesting characteristics. Notice it does peak out at bottoms and tops, things like that. It can bottom at bottoms and tops. It has some interesting characteristics. Yeah, it's the bid-ask ratio. I try to put it on mine, and it doesn't do too good a job. It doesn't work at all. I'm not sure why, but I think it's because I don't really collect I don't collect volume. So because I don't collect volume, it doesn't work. Got to collect volume, and I have the volume usually turned off. I don't pay attention to volume, but it's it's well worth having, in a sense that it's kind of interesting to see volume throughout all these products this way with the bid-ask ratio. I think volume has to be relative. It's that Einstein thing. It's got to be not like you don't like historical volume is just just too distorted because of derivatives and option derivatives and futures derivatives and so forth. It's a much more of a distortion. It opened the doorway for enormous more activity and trading and volatility. So it's not really as insightful, I think, as much as when you look at volume, day-to-day action relative to the day before, especially like as a smaller level as the bid or the ask ratio. So I think it was Metho that came up with it. Him or Jordan, one or the other, and it's been well worth leaving around. Let's see if Metho's listening. If he's here, he'll chime in. Here to the electronic trading pit. Okay, so. I think, what else is there? I guess, what else is there? I guess we go over to the, do we have it up? Oh, we don't even have it up on Chicago Quant. Let's see what's doing on Chicago Quant. There it is right there. And you can see, we've been in that cell just like that, just like the same way as the Deutschmark. And we are, I think did we close in this cell? Yeah, we did. Yeah, we closed in a weekly cell. So it closed in a weekly cell also last week. We were only 1 week in a weekly buy. I mean, geez, I thought, okay, maybe something's going on here. We're going to get a little action on the upside. But that really rolled over. You can see we went into this weekly sell back in April. And we stayed in a weekly sell all the way, and you can see it slowly glided down. I don't pick that up when I'm on the webinars. And then so you can see here, we went 1 week in a weekly buy. We even jumped in a daily buy off that crazy spike. Thought some real action was coming. I forget what news came out, but something came out and, it just kind of excited everything, Yeah, it was Metho. I thought Metho was following this. Yeah, I thought it was well worth watching. Like I said, I see it. Let me exemplify it again. Let me just make it bigger for a second. I see. What's up with this? Come on, there you go. Notice the bottom here. This thing peaks out at the bottom. Now the top. Gotta answer this. Let's see. Let me see. What am I looking for here? Oh, okay. Yes, we're on cable. I had to answer that text. So yeah, and I noticed that like here, you see this bottom gets put in here, and it's peak. I think it's interesting. See this bottom gets put in here. There's a peak. See this top gets put in here. It's a peak. It has some interesting characteristics where it kind of it catches corners at times. I call that corners. That's a corner. That's a corner. There's a corner. There's a corner. In other words, it gets into a trend. That's the top of the corner, and it goes down. There's the bottom of a trend. That's the corner, and it turns. In other words, you turn at corners. So I found that to be very interesting. Let's see. I need to send something to. Let me find it now. But yeah, that's the reason why I like keeping it on there, because I find it to be interesting. It picks certain characteristics up. Volume is very, like I said, due to the option binary derivatives floating around and the futures, just because something is bought doesn't mean that they're bullish. They could be covering a short, They could be covering a position in derivatives. It doesn't always represent the driving direction of it all, and so that's why I kind of steer clear of that type of math, and I like the bid ask ratio. I think that's so much more insightful. So I kind of I went with that and kept it, and that's why I kind of lean in that direction. And I love keeping it down there at the bottom because, like I said, when I see something peaking, or bottoming, and I see the ratio high or low, I think, oh, let's see if it turns the corner there. A lot of times it does. All right. From there, let's where are we at? Oh, we're looking at cable. Yeah, and what's it telling us about cable? Look at it, it's coming down to its lows. Maybe cable, or maybe when this thing turns, the volume really starts to turn and break out and take out like this low here or this low, and it joins in with our daily buy up in here on the daily indicator, or the weekly starts to join in and we start to see it bounce back up, then we'll think, hey, this is like a pretty safe long, So that's pretty much the whole gist of it all, I guess you could say. That's where my head is at. Now let's take a look at the Swiss, unless someone wants to see something in particular. Let's see. What do we got here? So you see here, this is the Swiss. It is trying to perk its head up a little bit on the weekly this morning. Let's widen that out more. We've been watching that range. It's been in a daily buy, like all the rest of them last week. They went into daily buys or daily sells, and they've held their trend. Let's put it up on J4X. Right there. And you see same thing. The volume is rolling over, making new lows. In this case here, in some ways, I guess it's not that insightful here. There, I guess it made a new low there, and it bottomed. And that's not as clean as some of those others, like this one here, where it makes new highs and starts to turn down, and we get a turn down there. This is kind of still, I think it's in the middle of the process. I think that's how I'm reading the volume indicator on this one. It's still in the middle of the process, and at the same time, you can see over here on Chicago Quant, we're flirting with a weekly buy. We're trying to turn up in here now. It's almost through the zero line, and we're in a daily buy. So it's in the throes. It's in the middle of its game at this point. And this game, the particular game that the Swiss is playing against the dollar, is it's going up. It's losing money against it. All right, from there, let's see what else we got going on. So from there, let me see. Where am I at? Going like that. Oh, okay. Let's jump over to the Turkish lira. That's what it is. Let's see what the Turkish lira is up to this morning. Now, the dollar Turkish lira is acting like an index for the last year or so. I mean, it doesn't act like something that people are trading with. And you can see here, let's widen it out. We're at all-time highs. It's trading over 18. 18 was what instigated it for them to do this to it. Here, I'll show you real quick. Right there, back in late December of last year. It hit 18, and the government came out and came up with a really smart policy. I'm not sure what happened to it. Maybe they never followed through. But they had the market convinced that it was a good thing. You can see here, we went into a weekly buy in February, and it's been in a buy on a weekly trend ever since. It refuses to go into a sell. So it's acting more like an index, and it's always that way with the dollar Turkish lira pairs trade. Now, the one that you can really trade more and much more efficient is the euro Turkish lira. But the oddest thing of all is they're trading at parity with each other. There used to be a 3-handle premium, like, when it hit 18 on the dollar euro pairs trade, not dollar euro, dollar Turkish lira pairs trade. The euro is trading all around 20.70. It's like almost 21, and so it was like 2.7 premium. Now they're trading at parity. I'm not sure what that's all about. I guess I can. The simple thing is obviously the euro is. I guess it's less euros. So obviously the euro has gotten stronger against the Turkish lira. They trade. They're countries that are side by side. So you would assume that there's a lot more trade going on just for that reason. Whereas you have a whole ocean between the United States and Turkey. So that alone makes sense right there. Now the other thing going on is the Turkish lira. This is the 6th week now in a buy, and before that it was in a buy for about 2, 4, 6, 8 weeks. It was in a buy, and then it slid into that sell up in here, that wild slam day, and you can see the pressure on it and kept you in the sell for here, and then went back into a buy. See, this trade's more like a real currency compared to the dollar Turkish lira. See what it looks like over here on J4X. Right there. And you can see here the volume, we're way down. Look at that bid-ask ratio. It's way down, making new lows. And let's see. So does that mean this thing's going to bottom out here soon and turn back up? Possible. It's way down at the low end of its ebb, So that's not a good sign, let's put it this way, for the Turkish lira against anything at this point. They're going to probably see more pain. Okay, so from there we drift over to, let's see. Let's go to right there. Go to the Canadian. That's where we go from there. We go to CAD. And there's the CAD. It's in that daily buy again, like everybody else last week. Missed going into the weekly buy last week on the close, but today it's through it with no problem. And so you can see that thing is trying to make its move up on the upside there. There you go. So we're starting off the week with strength into the daily. So any weakness probably is worth waiting for a sell and then a buy again. If you are short, that it's been painful and it's probably going to stay painful. Maybe they're going to go after the top end of the range. We are, let's see if we can show you. Oh, that's it. That is at the top end of the range. Let's show you. This thing has been range bound for a couple years, and so we're playing again with this range. It may go after this high or something. These highs there, that type of thing. The high there, possibly. It just keeps on trying to seem to build newer highs and outside of the range that it's been stuck in. Alrighty. From there, we go to the yen finally. But I've been waiting. Me be waiting. And you can see it's flirting with the weekly buy. Right there. And again, last week, everybody joined in on the daily buy thing. And the yen, this is like a 25-year high right here in the yen. So there's a lot of pressure on the yen. And it would let us into this, dramatic shift about 6-7 months ago. Where was it? When it was in the 115s. Yeah. Back in February, March, we went into that weekly buy here, and we were just totally convinced we were going to see a run up into the 25s. It got there all right, but it has done way more action on the upside, and we cruised in a buy for literally from the beginning of March all the way to into almost June. We slid in just the last week of May. Howdy! Hey! We're doing all right. No major complaints. It's been an interesting start of the week. We got Jackson Hole. And so, the Fed and everybody around the planet are going to be in Wyoming, and they're going to be enjoying the Rocky Mountains and the Yellowstone geysers and all the fun things that go on out there. I guess someone will go out there trout fishing or something like that. Fly fishing is big out there this time of the year. And, we're just waiting for Powell to basically say nothing. That's what we really want, is to hear him say nothing, which should keep us. Remember, we're coming into some real volatile action every day. I heard it this morning. I hate talking about it because it's the most irritating thing. It scares people, and that is, the politics. Everybody's talking about the politics, and they're waiting for this election. And I've never seen, in my 45 years, I've never seen of trading, I've never seen such an anticipated election. Never have seen anything close to it. So whatever Powell says will have some influence in the market, in his own way that he does it. And and this is the place where everybody pays attention and gets crazy. Remember, I think they canceled it last year for what was it? They canceled it for COVID. That's right. I was like, oh man, But yeah, COVID gets them all freaked out. They get all excited, and next thing you know is they're not sure if they're coming or if they're going. That's usually the problem with it all. They get them all excited. As you can see here, we were just looking at yen. If you have anything you'd like to see, friends out, Storm, if you see anything you'd like to see, just give a shout. We'll take a look at it. So how was your weekend, Storm? I hope it was good. I myself had a nice, lazy, peaceful adventure. It was good weather, good swimming, good everything. Let's see, what else we got going? We had a birthday party. All was cool. All right, so from there, we go to the Mexican peso, I guess. That's right, we're at the end. So we go and check out the Mexican peso. We're at the end of this adventure today when it comes to currencies, unless someone wants to see something. There it is. Oh, you know what we missed? We missed the South African rand, and we didn't compare the oil to the the Dow. Would be interesting. Yeah, let's do that. We didn't normally we look at oil and Canadian, and then we look at South African rand and gold. We didn't do either of those today. I was being excited. I was excited that it's Monday. Monday. Okay, let's go over and take a look at the Dow Jones. One of my favorites, where I got my nickname. There it is right there. Here is the intraday look. It's down. It's been down 300 and something for hours now. So you see we went into a buy there. It goes up, and we started flirting with some sell action, I guess. No, we didn't. It tried, but we had red and green, so it stayed in the buy from there all the way to this peak right there. Then it went into the sell. And that was a good little sell-off. And we went into a buy for a couple bars, and it's sloppy as all get out. Getting ready for the U.S. Open. It opens up soon, and you can see it's flirting around. Now, let's take a look at it on a much more, a longer-term look, the daily and the weekly. Right there. There we are. It's playing with us. It's funny. It didn't go into the daily sell on Friday like everybody else. When you look at the other two indices, the Tech 100, that's been in the daily sell for 2 days. That's Sunday night. Let me fix that. Yeah, there we go. So, that went into the sell there on Friday. And the same thing with the S&P 500. It also did the same thing. It went into the sell on Friday. And you can see both weeklies are very strong. All the weeklies are strong. Weekly strong on the Tech 100. It is curving, of course, and it's feeling some pain, but nothing too dramatic. You see here, same thing here. Matter of fact, what's interesting is that the The Dow Jones Industrial Average on the weekly hasn't even touched the time manifolds here. This one and this one, it's not even touching it. And you can see the daily's done its thing. It went up, spiked, and is coming down. The Dow is 30 stocks, and it's a divisor based. It's different than other stock indices. So they're cap weighted. One stock can have greater influence on the index compared to another, whereas on the Dow, all 30 stocks are equal basically when it comes to their influence. So if Boeing is up $1, then it's just as it adds just as much as if, say, I don't know whose else is in there. Cisco Systems is up $1, that type of thing, and the price tag is totally different. One's like 3 times more in value than the other, or 2 times more, that type of thing. So that's kind of interesting. But I would say, if anything, they're holding up. I kind of don't think. I think that I hate saying this out loud, but markets seem to be looking at the elections, and they don't want to really push them down too hard. So we saw a 300-point drop or 275-point drop on Friday. Right now we're down 337. Right there, it's been kind of quiet, bouncing up or down, like 150 points basically over the last 3 hours, or about 4 hours, since the European Open. Here's the European Open, and they sold it. You can see this, and contract this a little bit like that. You can see once the European Open occurred, they started selling it down. And you see that daily sell there, as London and Frankfurt and Milan and Switzerland get rolling along, and Amsterdam, you can see that pressure on it. And then it seemed like it stopped out after about an hour and a half, and just kind of done this basing thing going on at the moment. I hope that helps out. And Storm, good to see you. All right. Now, let's see. From there, let's go back to... I know what I want to go check out. Let's look at Canadian again and look at oil. Because what did we see? We saw Canadian, going up, right? There's CAD. So it's losing money against the dollar. So we have to assume most of the time that tells us that the oil market is heading down. And there is the front month, and it is today. It was up early in the day, or last night, Sunday night, and going into Monday, and then the European Open, and pushed it down. You see, we're actually flirting with a sell. We went into a weekly buy last week. That was kind of interesting. So, we're kind of confused now that we've pushed ourselves into this sell thing. Let me fix that. It needs to be set on default to cut out the Sunday night. There we are. Makes it one whole day. And then you see the strength in it with that weekly, but it went up through the 90s and rolled over. Now let's take a look at the South African Rand. Let's see. Also, we'll throw gold in there. Go to that and put in the South African Rand. We missed that altogether today. These are the ones we do every day. It's kind of... I really enjoy when I look at Canadian and oil and the Rand and gold. They're kind of... The Rand and gold is even more insightful. And there it is there. You can see this is rising, losing against the dollar, and then you go and look at gold, and gold is going down. And then they're giving it a hard punch today. So I always find these things interesting, these two currencies. To watch them kind of shows us the the action that's going on. All right, now let's see from there. Let me think. Oh, okay, we did Mexican. Did we do the Mexican peso? I know we talked about it. Let's go check out Mexican peso real quick. Okay. Yeah, that's what it was. Storm came in to say hi, and I was starting to head for peso. So here is the Mexican peso. It's come off its bottom. It's lifting up. We Fibonacci the range that we've been following for the last couple of years. As you can see there, it's all there. And so in this case here, it stalled out in the 50 percentile area here. That's what the green line is. There's the top end of the range. And I guess we're bouncing back up to it again. And some of this stuff has been very fascinating. QE, quantitative easing. You hear about it. You don't really think about it as much. A lot of people don't, at least. I do. Every day I stare at it because I've been trading for 45 years, and the last, the year is 22 now, right? So quantitative easing started in 2008 during the election of Mr. Obama and at the end of George Bush. And so quantitative easing has been on for 14 years. So I've known trading for almost 30 some odd years without quantitative easing. So I find it to be, totally irritating in its actions, because it was supposed to start in 2008. It was supposed to end in 2010. Mr. Obama kept it for the whole 8 years, and Mr. Trump came in 2016. He's tried to start paring it back. They did they actually started to supposedly wind it down. They started raising rates, and then all of a sudden, they changed direction on him. He was trying to remove some of this government policy stuff, and unfortunately, they like to use it because they spend money. They love spending money with it. The Federal Reserve makes it easy for them to spend money, which is really irritating. So, and so what the whole point of my statement here is that quantitative easing, the objective is to keep stability. So that's why you notice things trade in ranges now. They're not very volatile in longer term fashion. They try to keep things normal. They want to keep on borrowing money, the politicians, and so quantitative easing is like the free lunch that they dream of. So it's very irritating to me. It'll change over time, I'm sure. We'll get more responsible people in there to get rid of it. But at this point in time, the Fed's balance sheet has gone from like $450 billion to over $10 trillion. So wow, it's. You would think someone would wake up and realize it's bad. It's just generated bankruptcy across the planet. All right. So from there, we were looking at oil and gold. So let's do that again. Where are we at? There is silver. So you see that pressure on silver again today. We're in a daily sell, but we're in weekly buys. And I think gold was in a weekly buy too. Yeah, in a weekly buy, not as much as silver, but it's been in a daily sell almost as long as it's been in a weekly buy. It just, I'm not sure why that's there, but I guess, let's see if we can fix that. Something's wrong there. But it's been in a daily sell since here. I'm not sure why the histogram doesn't represent that. We'll have to go in and check the data. I think it topped out. I think that's what it is. The high and low is all wrong with this thing. So, all right. That's why I'm glad I have my lines in there. You can see here, went into the weekly buy, daily buy here, and then it rose while we were in the weekly sell. By the time we get into the weekly buy, it goes right back into the weekly sell again. Metho says they will pay 4% of $10 trillion end of year. Great show. Thank you. Yeah, yeah, I know. It's there's almost like there's nothing intelligent you can say about some of the stuff they've been doing. Let's put it that way. It's the stability. They've wrecked. I want to say that the EU joining in with this circus act has wrecked the Italian economy for sure, more than anything else. The more than that is they've wrecked not as much the economy as the banking system. And if you don't have good, solid banks, you can't lend money and you can't grow. You need money to be productive. And when government lends it out, it's not so productive. But when private banks lend it out, it's much more productive. All right, let's take a look at what are we looking at? We're looking at the metals. So let's see what gold looks like over on J4X. Right there. And you can see they're coming down towards the low end of the range and doing that bottoming thing. And you can see the volume has made lows, lows, and lows. I mean, playing with that low. Look how long it took for that to bottom out, to turn up. And then let's see what silver looks like over there. There's silver. Same game. Look at the volume on that. I find that interesting. Now I don't change that I don't change that bid ask ratio at all. That's what it picks up looking at silver, which I find incredibly interesting. That's how it's reading it. Who knows where this histogram comes in out of it all? But it's way more insightful compared to looking at gold. Let's see copper. Look at that. Oh, it does. It has those bars in there for gold, but it's just nowhere near as exciting. Then let's look at copper in there. There's copper. And it's even smaller, and you can see the volume drifted down. This product has bottomed in the low threes and is heading towards 350, and it's at 370, that type of thing in the copper. Let's see. Metho, it was good that you pushed us to look at the volume thing. I thought it was interesting. Very, very interesting. And there's September copper. It's pushing itself into a daily sell as we speak. It's in a weekly buy for a few weeks. It didn't really do much. I mean, it did go up, but nothing excited. This was the week it went into the buy, somewheres in here. And all it could do is get back up to that area. It went right into a sell, so it kept you pretty much out of it. And then it gave you this. I'm not sure what the malfunction is there again. We'll have to go clean that up. I think the high and the low is all wrong in that. I think that's what's making that so freaky. But it went into the daily buy there, and now it's pushing into a daily sell. So, the metals complex is having its issues in a world of inflation. In other words, they for some reason it doesn't want to go up. Let's take a look at platinum, how it's starting off the week. There's October platinum. You can see it's trying to go after its weekly sell. That's interesting. This thing leads you. This thing went into the weekly buy, and what happened 4 weeks ago, going 5 weeks back? The metals markets went up. And we can show it to you again real quick. You can see gold started to go up. When platinum went into the weekly buy. Silver started to go up when it went into the weekly buy, in platinum. And so platinum is a very interesting factor. I guess it was this week that platinum went into the buy. You can see the leap that you had in silver. When it does that, and we warned I guess you could call it warn it. We mentioned it to everybody. We said, hey, if you're short this product, these metals, don't be. I know we're in a weekly sell, but look at the platinum. It's going into a buy. And so when it closed into a weekly buy, it's like, whoa, you don't want to be short the other metals, that's for sure. Doesn't really help platinum much, but I mean, platinum did go from like 800 and something to almost 1,000, so that was pretty cool. It was a good move. It's a 15% move. All right, from there, let's see. I think we've done it all in the metals. So now let's slide over to the energies, and there is the front month oil, crude oil. And it's feeling the pain. We saw that in the Canadian dollar and the crude oil look. You can see it went into a weekly buy last week. So that's going to be some interesting stuff. Just taking, we're going to throw Brent up on J4X. Let's get Brent up there. Right there. And you can see there it's trying to turn up. And where are we now? We're in the 94 area. We've seen it go down to like 89. We've seen it run back up to almost 100. Kind of bouncing around the last week or so. There's a lot of action in the Brent. I understand, like they turned off the pipeline again for 3 days, or they're going to turn the pipeline off through Ukraine from Russia. I don't know. That game is going on constantly also at the same time. Now let's take a look at nat gas, since we're coming to the end. You see it's trying to get back into the daily buy. We've been in the weekly buy since the 775.80 area. And you can see it over here on J4X. Right there. Trading American natural gas at 970 now. And then when we take a look at nat gas in Europe, it's like, phew, it's been as high as $29, not $9, $29. And let's see, where are you? Right. Not that. There it is. And there's natural. Look at it, it's heading for 30 again. We're seeing that pressure. I know they're turning it off for a couple days. So that's going to be influencing it, making things kind of crazy. All right, traders, I guess we're going to get out of here. It's been fun. I did want to show you the contango with American oil. Something's going on. You can see here's the front month. It's trading at, where's it at? It's trading at, we can do it this way. We can throw the front month up on J4X real quick. You'll see the bid and ask of it. There it is right there. So it's trading at 87.66 to 70. Now look at December oil. With 3-4 months in it. So, October, November, December. 3 months in it. Right there. It's trading at 87.15. It's only like 50, 60 cent discounted. Whereas for a long time, the contango had them discounted for $3 and $4. The discount is starting to disappear. So that says a lot to me. It says that markets there's no out demand. There was I guess out demand. The out demand has disappeared. That's what it is. So in other words, money is saying, okay, don't worry about it. We can always buy it. No, I guess it's the other way around. It's saying it can't buy it. That's what it is. So when they were discounting at $3 and $4, it was because they were afraid they weren't going to be able to get a hold of oil. They were afraid. No, they weren't afraid that they couldn't get a hold of oil, so they discounted it because of the cost to carry. Boy, do I get that complicatedly confused. Anyway, now it's almost trading at parity with the front month, means that they feel like they can take. They can't get it. No one wants. No one's pressuring it anymore. That's what it comes down to. On the sell side, no one is. That's what I'm probably searching for. It's saying to me that they're not pressured by it anymore. So in other words, they felt like it was too much inventory around, and they wouldn't raise the back months. Now they have. They've raised the back months, and I think that's well worth paying attention to. All right, I know that was confusing because I'm still confused. I think I'm Doc. Yes, I am. Okay, this is Doc from North America. We'll catch you all tomorrow, same time, same channel. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, traders. Arrivederci.